But not everybody wants to remain silent, which brings us to our Democrat heads up.
You got the cash, we want to use it, so we hope you'll understand exactly why you're about to lose it when we win. Do you remember how it used to be? The money you made, thought you'd get to keep it. Ha! Spread the wealth around.
All right, now this is supposed to be a letter from a military Blue Star mom, and if it isn't, it ought to be. This is from 100%fedup.com. To the Muslim Gold Star father that spoke at the DNC, I have some thoughts on your comments. I am a Blue Star mother. My deepest condolences on the loss of your son. No family should have to endure such a loss. That being said, while your son is a hero, you, sir, are not. My son has served 3 tours of combat in countries that you and your family came from. Iraq and Afghanistan were his introduction to adulthood and service, to something bigger than our individual selves. He was blown up by an IED set by your countrymen. His Purple Heart is a testament to his love of America and our freedoms. I've suffered through his multiple combat tours in Iraq and Afghanistan, never knowing from moment to moment if he would return home in a flag-draped coffin. It's torture when a mother wakes up to this day after day and sees the atrocities happening over there on the news and being helpless to change a thing. Now, my comments to you will probably offend you. I do not apologize. These things need to be said because, unlike you, I could never use my son's death as a pawn piece in support of a woman that left, quote, America's treasure, unquote, Hillary's words, to die unaided in Benghazi. The same woman that says vile things to her military details that are there to protect her. You, sir, are supposed to be a witness to your son's bravery and his sacrifice. Instead, you stood on a stage and promoted the woman that upholds the very people that killed your son. You became a political pawn that promotes pandering to our enemy. You desecrated your son's memory by your words. You did not utter one word of outrage at anyone but Donald Trump. Are you forgetting that Trump didn't kill your son? He had nothing whatsoever to do with these wars. His memory should mean more to you than 5 minutes of fame on a stage. On behalf of a party that voted to send your son over there in the first place, the same party that for 8 years has denied and cheated our veterans out of their deserved medical care, who for the last 3 years have cut veterans' pay. Oh, and of note, your wife stood silent. She stood with her head covered, never uttering a word about her loss. She submitted to you, being her voice in front of the country. She abdicated her free voice to you, as I guess would any good Sharia wife and mother. Let me say, this was not lost on the other American military moms, and myself included. Had it been my son being used as a political prop, no one could have silenced me. I would be voicing my grief, my pride, my love of him to the world. A man cannot speak to a mother's loss. No man knows her heart. No man knows her heart at the loss of a child. She did her heroic son a disservice by her silence. She should have uncovered her head and her heart to be the American mother that you claim she is. And last of all, you dared to flash your pocket Constitution and ask if Trump had read it. I dare to ask you, sir, have you read it? Well, that's a good question, because what he was up there railing against as being unconstitutional was clearly not unconstitutional. There is no constitutional question about Muslim immigration being throttled down in an attempt to prevent Islamist radicals from making their way into this country. Okay? There's no constitutional issue. So he's up there waving it around. I got to tell you, I think the guy that didn't read it was Mr. Kahn, artist. She goes on to say, if you say yes, then I dare ask you, how could you represent that party? How can you support this woman? How can you affiliate your family with a party and candidate that cannot even call the radicals that killed your son what they are? How can you support a current administration that diminishes your son's death by denying that he had an enemy? And if you have read the Constitution, How could you cover your soulmate in colorful, submissive sheets and have the audacity to speak for her? Well, that's because Mr. Kahn is not for the Constitution. Mr. Kahn is for Sharia. And he has said that Sharia needs to supplant the Constitution. The Constitution is second to Sharia law. That's who this clown is. That's who this, because he's a Gold Star father, I guess what, he's immune from pulling off a con and being criticized for it? You know, sometimes I really hate the media, and I really hate the Republicans who don't respond properly to the media, and they let them get away with this crap. Anyway, back to the letter. Your son died for that Constitution you so carelessly waved around on national TV in support of the very party that exists to destroy that Constitution. As a soldier's mother, no one could ever speak for me. I find your outrage artificial, and I find your party affiliation offensive. I find your wife's silence atrocious and offensive, and I find you a political fool. I find your son to have been your greatest accomplishment, and you, sir, have dishonored him. I hope you memorize that pocket Constitution so you will understand what it means to be a real American and a hero. Mr. Kahn has absolutely no intention of doing that. You are not one. You were used, and your son would not be proud of you. My only hope is that when my son goes a fourth time to combat radical Islamist terrorists, and by the way, he will know that his mother never stood submissively silent about an American hero. Yes, your son was a hero. That could not be manipulated out of you, sir, but you are a weak-minded fool. I would love to hear your thoughts this morning about the 1,500 American soldiers on an air base in Turkey being held basically as hostages even as I type. Not a word from this president, not a word from this party that you, sir, apparently adore so much. Not a word from this president either, or the media that so thoroughly manipulated and used you and your wife and the phony story that they generated around it. What will you say to a blue and gold star family if these heroes die? In my opinion, you, sir, will say nothing.
I'll spread the wealth around. Spread the wealth around. Don't you turn me down.
There's no attribution to that, so I'm fully expecting to go to some fact check website and find out that it was composed by somebody else and not a gold star, or I'm sorry, not a blue star. I don't care. I don't care, because you know what? I agree with every word of it. All of it needed to be said.